Hi, welcome to the Transformers comic review page. Might be doing other things. I don't really know at this time. But I'm going to start off with reviewing Transformers Sins of the Wreckers, issue 1. Um, Sins of the Wreckers starts off 5 years after the last of the Wreckers, where the Wreckers were on Garstein. Um, we see it starts off with the first page being Cup floating around in outer space. Apparently passed out for some reason. He gets pulled in by RC, and RC is asking him to help him find Prowl, who has gone missing after his battle with Optimus Prime, who was whisked away by a rat trap at this point. We then go to RC kind of trying to convince Cup to help her, solve the case. Then we go to the next thing where we get to see the Wreckers. First, where we see Guzzle yelling at Impactor for, "Hey, why am I a bot? Let me out. You're no good. You're despicable." Just cursing at him. Um, and Guzzle's telling him, you're basically comparing him to Springer, putting him down, and Impactor's all on nothing like Springer. Springer, it doesn't matter. Springer's dead anyways. And then we see Roadbuster approach, and he's like, "No, Springer's not dead. He's. And he talks about how he's been reading to him for like 1,467 days, and how Impactor is, wondering why he's acting this way if when he got someone killed. Um, when he got people killed because he wasn't willing to act like Guzzle. And Roadbuster's kind of trying to console him, say, you did the right thing. You did a good thing by, not seeping into that, kind of being supportive and caring about another wrecker. That's kind of what we're supposed to do. And we get to see Roadbuster kind of talking about how he doesn't like big guns as much, or he doesn't think about it all the time. We shoot over to the next page later on, where we get to see them back to RC and Cup, where they have actually successfully broken into Prowl's security doors office, and they're talking about Prowl being kidnapped, and how is Cup able to do it so easily? How is Cup able to break through the walls and all this stuff? Prowl's security is supposed to be top notch. RC's kind of blaming him and everything like that. Apparently they breached some kind of like security thing, and you see um, Prowl kind of hologram forms focus up and say, "Hey, you know what? I've been captured. I don't know who my captors are. I have no idea. But if you reach this recording, then obviously your security isn't the high security. I need you to do me a favor and find me Springer. He's the only Autobot who possesses the tenacity, the strength of will to rescue me, and that is an order. Prowl out." RC is not happy about this. He's just like hated like Springer. Comes out like, "Yeah, Springer." And RC's like, "I know who Springer was. Maverick, hard case, tenacious. So she's kind of like not happy about it. So we see Cup trying to make the call out to Debris. RC's like, "No, no, no, we need to handle this. No, not Prime, not you, just us. Not anybody. You know." So RC reluctantly agrees, or appears to, and then RC knocks Cup out again. And saying like, if you really need to work on that passing out thing, have that checked out. So we go on to the human page. We see Verity, walking through the snow. We see animals kind of following her, and just kind of like, why are these kind of freaking out because animals are following her, and it's kind of weird, especially like a lone wolf, a bunny, and a polar bear. So she climbs a mountain, gets attacked by the polar bear. A police car shows up, transforms, kicks the polar bear, which is the Autobot Stakeout, which is awesome, because Stakeout was one of those characters who was part of the G1 continuity, and it's kind of nice to see a Micromaster from that 1989 lineup show up in Sins of the Wreckers and kick a polar bear. So he kind of consoles Verity, put her in the car to warm her up, and they start talking and kind of catching up, and then we see RC show up again. She's actually caught up with Verity and Stakeout, and RC. RC's not the type of person to just talk to people. She'll shoot first and ask questions later. So she takes out Stakeout, and apprehends Verity. So then we go back to actually No Maze, where Prowl is apparently in, and we see that he still is missing the eye that Optimus Prime actually punched out of him in during the fight, which is actually before all this happened. But we see that, and you see an invisible figure kind of talking to him and saying, "Hey, this is why you're here," something like that. Welcome to the Noise Maze. And Prowl is very basically not able to hear. He's kind of like trucking and kind of going crazy because of whatever the place is. And we go to Cup again, who's actually woken up, and he's talking to Springer, telling him, "Hey, I was lost. I was stuck in another dimension. If I stayed awake, kid, if you were awake, you probably would have tried to rescue me. I probably wouldn't have been there for so long." And saying, "I'm not like you. I'm not tough like you. No one's tough like you." Kind of like saying all this stuff and demanding him to wake up, saying, "Hey, what? The Autobots are in disarray. We need help. There's something that's gonna actually ruin us and start this war over again." And he's ordering Springer to actually wake up. And so then we go back to the Breeze, where Roadbuster and Impactor are talking actually by former wreckers, tombstones, and things like that. So you kind of see them kind of chit-chatting. So, they're talking about, I should be... Impactor's talking about how he should be, how come he's not down here when, he's alive and Springer's up there almost dead, and, when is Springer going to come down here, and who's going to be the next record leader after Springer, things like that. So they're kind of like, and Impactor's trying to get Roadbuster to pull the plug on Springer. And during this conversation, a new Autobot shows up who's kind of been in it. I think he showed up in Megatron Origins and a few other stories during the lineup, and he shows up and says, your friend is burning through his casing, and he's going to be out in about 15 minutes. I kind of need some help subduing him. Kind of scared. And he's a communications officer. His name is Hubcap. He shows up. He's been you kind of see him during the pages, just like watching everybody in the book, which is kind of cool because he's not the kind of the little squat dude you see right here. This is him right there. So you can't see him, but yeah, you can see all the other guys. So they're talking about and he's like first they think that he wants an autograph and that he's all enamored by Impactor, but it's not like that. So it goes back to, they keep talking about it and about to go help him out. And then the alarm goes off and like, oh, damn it, Guzzle. So they think Guzzle has already broken out. But no, they're like, Roadbuster's like, no, that's not Guzzle, that's Springer. So they rush over to see Springer. Roadbuster, has problems entering the room because he doesn't want to see Springer gone. As he mentioned, as we've read before, if you read the 0 Point from Last Time of the Records hardcover, might be in the paper betrayed. I do not know because I only have the hardcover of Last Stand. He basically says Springer is the greatest leader of the Wreckers, and so that kind of one of those things where if something happened to Springer, I think it would really affect Roadbuster, and that he actually really has thinks very highly of him. So he has trouble entering the room. Impactor says, we have to do this. I'll go in first. And so Impactor opens up the door, and they see that Springer's gone. Up from a slab. They have no idea where he's at. So you can see all this. Them talking. Let me go back to Verity and RC. RC's interrogating Verity quite a bit, actually. So, and then as she's asking about the Equators, why is she blackmailing Prowl? I don't know if I mentioned that before. Yeah, Verity is actually trying to blackmail Prowl. And that's when Prowl apparently tried to meet with her and was captured or something like that. I don't really know if that was what happened or what, but apparently Prowl was aware of it. And then we see footsteps approaching. And it kind of shows up where the records have all been assembled. You know, we got Guzzle, and here's a nice clean shot of all the records. And in the front is the nice and hearty Springer, you know, talking, saying that, you know, we're the records, and we're here to make things better. And he doesn't know who RC is. He's never met her. So it's kind of, I kind of like that. I kind of like, that they never met. And because in the '80s Transformer series, they were kind of a couple. They were always together. So being that this is their first encounter is really awesome, and I want to see what that develops between them and during the story, and how different the relationship is going to be. So that was Sins of the Records, issue 1. I have issue 2. Issue 3 comes out next Wednesday. And I will be actually viewing issue 2 probably sometime over the weekend and posting that as well. So I hope you guys like these reviews. I'm sorry the lighting is really bad. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm really tired. But I really wanted to do this for you guys. Thank you, and please subscribe and watch.